Hey, this is DocHoliday, and wanted to walk through. This is the Mistress fight from Dar Nargabord, or DN, as I prefer to call it, because I can never pronounce the other one right. But this is a 12-person raid, and I'm actually running this now on my captain. So you saw previously I was running it on my warden. This is now running it on my captain. So we're going through here doing our pre-fight buffs. So I am walking through and buffing everyone up. And for the most part, my plan, my strategy is everyone gets the Relentless Attack, because that's the crit buff. We've got 2 captains, so 1 captain does each group. Or actually, I take that back, we only have myself, so I go through and try and get as much of the groups done as possible. The way this fight starts off is you have to take down these world leaders. And basically, once you kill the 4 world leaders, you can then go off and take care of the Mistress. So in most groups, what will happen is you'll go off and then split up. So you'll have a tank usually go off and grab 2 of the world leaders. You'll have someone else go grab the other one, and then the group will all burn down the 4th one. So that's normally how it works, and you can go through and see how that works. Now, for these fights, I treated my captain a little bit differently than how a lot of people trait captains for raiding. Most folks trait their captain Hands of Healing, which is the best healing build that you can do for a captain. I'm not a big fan of that build, just because I don't like to heal all the time, and I don't like to have the feeling that I just sit back and heal. So I'm slotted Leader of Men, which they did a massive boost with free to play. And really what this allows me to do is take a lot of my buffs that I would do to a single person, my shield brother, and I can now apply that to the entire group. And what we're doing here is we're doing a little bit of shenanigans to go ahead and swap groups such that I can apply my buffs and get both groups the benefit of having the captain, even though we only have one of us. So basically we're switching around and going off and buffing. So you'll notice that I'm switching weapons because I've got one that has the better buffs on it and one that has the better damage abilities, and go ahead and switching those around, and then we are going to go ahead and get ready here. So switch the groups back, and now it's just a matter of doing our last ready checks and making sure I remember to switch back to my good weapon, and we are ready to go. So I went ahead and got everything all squared away, and we're now heading into take on these world leaders. So again, we're splitting them up. They do have a proximity heal, so if they get close enough to each other, they will heal each other. You can heal through it, but it's just, you can DPS through it, but it's just a little bit more challenging in that case. So going through and getting this ready to go. So you'll see here, did the ready checks, so we're all ready to go. One of the things I'll point out is there is a break after you kill the world leaders and before the Mistress pop becomes active, where you can actually eat food. So that's why you'll notice that we're not all eating food here, is that there is a break, there's a time period where you can go ahead and do that. So a couple other things, so here we go, we're going off and taking care of that. You may notice as we go through here that again, we're on this world leader, we're not terribly worried about who is tanking him, because we basically have one that we're burning down, we have another one that we're trying to keep away, and then we have the other 2 that are occupied by our tank. You'll notice that some of the characters in the group have orange bars next to their morale indicator. Essentially that means that they have less radiance than other folks. So one of the detriments of not having enough radiance or having too much dread is you lose morale. So it's kind of annoying, kind of painful, and it's one of the reasons why the Radiance Gate is being removed, is because it causes a lot of serious problems. So first world leader's down. We're now moving on to the second one, and we are going through, again, just kind of cycling through and doing DPS on those as we go. And usually what will happen is you've got a tank and a healer off to the side there that are keeping those 2 world leaders occupied, and then the rest of the group is going through and keeping track of the rest of them. Now, a couple of things that are going on here is you'll notice that every once in a while we do get rooted. Some other things, there'll be some fears, there'll be some other nastiness that'll happen. You'll notice in this case that my user interface is pretty significantly different than other ones that I use. Essentially, this is just a matter of I haven't set up any Lua scripting on this. So look at this video versus some of my other videos. You'll notice a difference in how they're set up. My warden is set up to use some of the Lua scripting, and my captain this isn't. It's really the only difference there. I was using the target assist to go ahead and grab the target of the main assist. It's kind of hard sometimes when there are two mobs with the same name that are close to each other to figure out which one you're supposed to be on. So use the target assist is a great way to do it. You'll notice a little bit of a fail there from a captain, and then I forgot to assign a shield brother. So I rectified that, and I now have that. The nice thing about the leader of the men line is normally my shield brother skills would only impact the person I have shield brothered, but with this line slotted, I actually apply that same, a lesser value to the rest of the group. So it allows me to really help out and really do a lot more benefit to the entire group as opposed to one single person. So you'll see me use healing, you'll see me use the damage buff. Really is a nice bonus that I like to toss out to the rest of the group. So we've gone through and beaten down 3 of the 4. This is not the last world eater. And once we kill this, we'll have a brief period where we can eat food, and then the Mistress will start. And again, I said this in my other one, Mistress has to be the ugliest boss in the game. Just really, really not all that attractive. So again, as a captain, I prefer banners. So one of the things we use a lot is banners are great for allowing you to keep track of where things are, where they need to be. So I was a little bit busy making sure I had all the buffs squared away, so I didn't get a chance to eat food, but it's not as big of an issue. I actually still have some of my food taken away, so not too big of a problem, but you certainly have the option. So the way this Mistress works is you basically have a couple of stages where she will spawn ads. This is now just her, but one of the things that she does is she likes to spin around. Even though our tank has full control and has full aggro, she likes to spin around and do attacks on everybody. So she will randomly pick people out, smack them really hard. She'll do AoE attacks. She's really just generally annoying in that you can't just tank her and everyone stand behind her and not have a problem. She does do a lot of other attacks and other things, so it can be a little bit annoying. So you basically need to keep going through and doing damage on her. Whatever other support options you have are very helpful to go through and keep things going on the Mistress. And one of the nice things about this fight is, from this first part here, you're just basically going through and taking care of the Mistress. You just have to go through and really just kind of survive the damage. Certainly it's a lot easier now as level 65s versus when they launched and we were level 60s. So it definitely has a little bit easier, a little bit smoother to go through and do it this way versus doing it when it initially launched. But again, a couple other things on the way I have my captain set up. I use pressing attack, which is a double attack. It's not as big of crit numbers, so I don't get as much burst damage, but I do get a good amount of damage, and I also have a better chance of triggering my defeat skills, because basically whenever you crit with either a devastating blow or a pressing attack, you can have a chance to use your defeat skills, which for a captain is really where a lot of our strength, a lot of our utility comes in, is being able to use those defeat skills. So you really, whenever you're raiding, you want to make those off as much as you possibly can. So in this case, I set up using pressing attack, because then if I crit on either one of those, I get to pop it off. Pressing attack also has an AoE component to it, such that you can hit multiple mobs. So again, if you can go ahead and fire that off and crit on any of those attacks, you pop up a defeat response. So you do have a lot of opportunities there to do that. So that's for me why I prefer pressing attack versus devastating blow. But for the Moors, you want to do as much damage as possible. So that's why most people in the Moors will use devastating blow. It's just up to your preference, whatever you want to do. So we're now in the second phase. So we are now fighting off the different waves of ads that are on here. So essentially, as you go through this particular fight, you will have a couple of different waves that'll spawn off. Actually, it was lovely rooted right under her, so I was stuck there. But go through. You'll have a couple different waves that'll spawn through here, and essentially you want to go through and burn these waves down as quickly as you can. One of the other things about DN is lighting is a bit interesting in here. So this is a very, very dark area, so it can be a little bit challenging to see things. So you just have to be conscious of where things are, what's going on. That's why having the banner is good, because that's a nice little metric. You can see where it is, see what's going on. So during the second phase, or I guess probably the third phase really, what you have going on is not only do you have Mistress to worry about, but you also have other ads that'll pop up that are the Snarling Overseers. Now what these guys do is they will mez people and get to be pretty annoying and pretty nasty. So they will cause problems, so you want to make sure that you try to keep those occupied. So a lot of times what will happen is usually, since they will come from different directions and all over the place, you usually have your ranged folks concentrate on the Snarling Overseers. Because again, you want to burn down the Mistress as much as possible. So usually you'll have ranged on the Overseers, and you'll bring everyone else on the Mistress. Some groups will do it differently and have melee working on those. It's just whatever your group is set up to do. So usually what I ended up doing was I would go through and as much as I could, I would go ahead and take care of the Overseer or the Mistress, but from time to time I would pop back and go and try and help out the group with taking care of the Overseers. But so you have to keep an eye on those and watch out for those guys as they pop through. But then outside of that, this is pretty much a matter of surviving through it, being able to survive attacks from the Mistress, watching out for the different Overseers, trying to keep those off, keep the rest of the group alive. Of course, the obligatory knockbacks, those are always a lot of fun. One thing about being knocked back that some people don't necessarily realize is you can control yourself. So in certain cases, being knocked back into certain things is bad. Helgrod is a perfect example of when that's a bad thing, but a bunch of other cases where it's bad too. But you can control yourself. You can steer yourself as you're in midair, flying through the air. So keep that in mind, that you do have that capability. One of the other things that's kind of nice about the Mistress is she doesn't move, so she just kind of sits there. So you do have the chance, just kind of you always know where she's going to be. One of the key captain skills is Oathbreaker Shame. Basically, it provides a massive damage boost to the basically anyone who's attacking that mob. So in this case, it's a raid-wide damage boost. So it's really has a great benefit. So most raids will use that at some point when they want to just burn through things quickly, which is kind of the phase that we're in right now. We're just trying to finish off and burn down the Mistress, and go through and finish her off. We do have a couple Overseers that folks are worried about, but most of the group is dealing with the Mistress and just trying to get her down as quickly as possible. But you see me, I peeled off to go ahead and take care of that Overseer. But I'm going to go ahead and switch back. She's almost dead, so we go through and just kind of finish her off to go ahead and end this. And so that's second look at this this fight through a different class. This is from more of a support perspective. I should have earlier on a tank, but I should have some more videos up as we go.